If you fell in love with one woman, one bird, one ant, one tree, and something, then your love is not driven by anything, you're just falling in love. If continuously you're falling in love only with women, that means your love is driven by your hormones. You better understand that. So what is driven by something, you want to label it as love, it is fine. I'm not saying there's no love at all, there is. But what is true and what is not true is not something that you decide because of this, because of what happened or what did not happen. It's a question of how you felt. Whether it ended up in marriage, then you realize it was not love, or it did not end that way and you thought it was true love which was never realized. It's up to you how you want to handle it. But essentially, what love means is, if your physical body becomes very pleasant, generally we call this health and pleasure. If your mind becomes very pleasant, we call this peace and joy. If your emotions become very pleasant, we call this love and compassion. If your life energies become very pleasant, we call this blissfulness and ecstasy. So what you're referring to as love is a certain moment of pleasantness. Now you believe somebody caused it in you. Maybe somebody did trigger it in you, somebody did stimulate that in you or inspire that in you, but essentially it is your emotions turning very pleasant, which you call as love. So, if love is true, it will happen without an object. If it's really genuine, true love, what it means is, you have made your emotions very pleasant. Whether a man is here or a woman is here or a tree is here, an ant is here, elephant is here is not the point. You've just made your emotions pleasant. Everything that you behold, you have a certain pleasantness towards it, that is love. Now this continuously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all are women, it's driven by hormones. Nothing… I'm not saying it's anything wrong with it. But you must understand the limitation of it. So, if it ends up in a permanent bond in the form of marriage or whatever, then you think it's successful. If it did not, you think it's a failure. It need not be so. I would be happy if you fell in love with 3 billion women, and don't believe the other 3 billion men also. If you fell in love with 3 billion women, it wouldn't be hormonal, it would be just love. I'm in love with all the women in the world, and the men also, the ants also, and the very soil that I walk upon. And love is not about somebody, it's about you being pleasant, truly pleasant. And is this right, wrong, this, that is not the thing. It is an intelligent way to exist. There is sufficient unpleasantness in the world. However carefully you walk, you will step into something or other. When this is so, you don't have to manufacture your own unpleasantness within you. Only 3 times in your life if you love, I think you're a misfortune, because the rest of the time, you have not known that pleasant. Every moment of your life, you must know that pleasantness. You must constantly fall in love, everything and nothing, women also included. What's the problem with them? Because you cannot tie a bond with 3 billion women, you choose one is convenient. If you marry 5, then you will find it's very inconvenient. Yes, one is convenient, and above all, the reason why you tie a bond with somebody is, at least with one person in your whole life, you want somebody with whom there's no holds barred. If you approach a new person, always there is a little bit of, there's a little bit of war and games happening. War games are happening with a new person. With one person, you want to relax, where you don't have to play games. At least with one person, you want to be in total relaxation. That's the idea. Why you want at least one person? That is, still you have not reached a point where you are simply relaxed by yourself, with life itself. Because you are unable to relax with the whole manifestation of life around you, the million manifestations of life around you totally, at least with one person you want to find that. That's the idea, finding a bond or building a bond. So people who look beyond that are people, they don't value relaxing with one person because now they're able to relax with just about anyone. They are totally at ease with everything in existence. Now they don't find the need to make a bond where only at one place some relaxation happens. Rest of the place you are warlike, always trying to protect yourself. One place where you can keep your defense mechanism down, because only when you keep your defense mechanism down, something beautiful can happen within you. So, love is seen as a possibility to go beyond that instinct of self-preservation, where you're not trying to preserve yourself, you're trying to offer yourself to something or something. For that, you don't need a person.
Tips for building healthy relationships. Here's what you can do to build healthy relationships and support the people in your life. Dick up, man. Figure out your core beliefs. If you don't trust someone, it may be because they've betrayed your trust in the past or shown a pattern of suspicious behavior. But the problem could also be on your end. Your core beliefs and previous experiences could make you see betrayal even when there's nothing there. Exploring those core beliefs and building self-knowledge sets you up to approach relationships in an informed and intelligent way. And cherish each other's. In the early stages of a relationship, you might want to be your best self and hide your insecurities. But after a while, you start to open up and show who you really are. Whenever someone is vulnerable with you, show them they can count on you by avoiding jokes and negative comments. Express support and let them know you care. 3. Ask for help when you need it. Asking someone for help is difficult, but healthy relationships involve give and take. When you seek help from someone, whether that's emotional or otherwise, you're offering them an opportunity to support you, and chances are they'll be more than happy to take it. This also shows the other person that they should also feel comfortable doing the same when they need it. 4. Protect the relationship from stress. Stressed out people have little energy left over for their relationships, which means constant stress can wear out your connections over time, whether that's internal fighting or external hardship. One way to avoid this is to talk about past difficulties as battles that you overcame together. Researchers call this process glorifying the struggle. 5. Show appreciation. Expressing gratitude is a simple way to improve relationship satisfaction. In fact, it may even trigger a virtuous spiral in which receiving appreciation makes you more likely to appreciate your partner. Find and take opportunities to show your gratitude, whether that's kind words or a gesture of 6. Set aside time to talk about your hopes and fears. The infatuation at the beginning of a romantic relationship is full of happy hormones, but that intensity can wear off over time. Make the effort to continue learning about each other and sparking those feelings of newness and excitement. Hopes, fears, and plans change over time. So have regular discussions to stay on the same page and discover more things you love. 7. Fight with intention. Conflict is powerful. It can either break relationships or make them stronger. But handling conflict maturely can be extremely difficult, especially if you feel defensive. Show the other person you care by acknowledging the need they're expressing, even if you don't agree with it, and focus on constructive solutions. Listen actively and try to see the fight not as you versus the other person, but as you and the other person versus the problem. If either of you becomes overpowered by emotion, pause and take a time out. Giving yourself space for emotional regulation can offer the insight you need to approach the problem proactively. 8. Embrace your differences. Everyone's personality is unique and changes over time, which means you and the people around you will always have differences. Regularly recognize your complementary strengths and weaknesses and appreciate what each of you brings to the relationship. Show the other person you value their perspective